Happy holidays to you as well, mate. Early Happy New Year. I don't really know yet what we're going to do on the 31st. I'm waiting, by the way, for UpATree and Flexy to get their videos going. I apologize about my camera disconnecting for a split second there. More games? Yes, we have 3 more best of 5s. The next one is for $100. The one after that is for $125. And the main event is for $200. So 3 more best of 5s to go. Hopefully 14 or 15 games. I don't know. But we're going to make it a fun Friday night. What did I want to say? Yeah, I don't really know yet what my plan is for the 31st. I do want to do a stream on the final day of the year. But I don't exactly know what kind of stream I want to go for. And I also don't know about the time. I have a very silly tradition with my Dutch friends where we play pool at the final day of the year. We meet each other at like 2 p.m. in a pool centrum in Spijkenisse. It's always terrible. They always just bully me about how bad I am. But I don't know why I go. But yeah, it's fun to see some nerds, I guess. Drink a couple beers in the early afternoon. And after that, we will see. Stream on New Year's Eve, I know what I expect. Well, I won't be streaming late at night. Like, I do want to socialize a little bit around 10, 11, 12. I would have loved to maybe go to Bulgaria to spend New Year's Eve with Reynor and Lambo and Louvre, etc. But Bavaria is just a little far, so I don't think we're going to do that. We'll see. I'll do something, but I do also want to stream. I just don't know yet on what time I'll be streaming. I think that the nerds are done, but we were waiting for somebody to host. I think they were waiting for me to host, but they can host. Oh. Thank you to Muron60 for the tier 1 sub as well. I saw that the game was cancelled, by the way, yo, but I have no idea why. And after that message, I want to say I still have no idea why. So what is the story behind that? They showed up with shorts that are not allowed. And it just blew off an entire game while the stadium is packed and everybody was looking forward to it. The Turkish Football League is such a mess lately. And some people will say like, well, not just lately, Roddy, it's always been. But I feel like especially over the last few weeks, just all hell is breaking loose in Turkey. Ever since that president ran on the pitch and assaulted a referee. And the next match there was another coach or a president running into the field. It's chaos. Chaos in Turkish football. Thank you to BASILISK for the 20 months. So our next match, UpATree versus Flexy. Flexy is a Polish player. He is known as a Terran, at least to me, but apparently he plays just as much Protoss. He actually beat me with a cannon rush somewhat recently. I was sleeping on the job and I wasn't scouting and suddenly I had cannons in my base. I was like, oh, that's unfortunate. So I lost. They both had a very deep run in the Passioncraft tournament that I casted a couple of weeks ago, where it was full of players up to 5,300 MMR. They were not on the same side of the bracket, so they didn't run into each other, but I still thought it was fun to see this match happen. Cell had a good run in it, Flexy had a good run in it, and then obviously Cell had his absolutely legendary run at the DreamHack Masters Atlanta BYOC tournament, where he defeated Maples, he defeated the Reaper. I feel like he defeated one more very good player, no? Was it just Maples and Reaper? I think there was a... Oh yeah, and a 5.4k Protoss. Sephiroth or Sephisis or whatever it was. But alright, anyway, the nerds are ready. I'm ready. I know that Cell also won the last time he played in the Big Brain Bouts. Flexy is the only player tonight that has never played in a BBB before. I just wasn't that familiar with him in the past. But then I saw him in the Passioncraft tournament and I was like, oh, he is a perfect candidate to get invited. Seems like a nice guy. Plays both Protoss and Terran. I would have been okay with this being a TVT. You guys know I don't love TVT all that much, but having a single best of 5 TVT, that doesn't bother me. But when I contacted Flexy, he said, oh no, I'll play Protoss. Just want you to know. And I was like, alright, that's fine. So second match of the night. Winner gets $80. The loser gets $20. Both players around 5,200 MMR. Let's do it.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight!
Top right side of Solaris, aka Colaris. We are looking at the main base of the Polish Protoss and Terran, but Protoss tonight, it is Flexy. Made it into the grand finals of the Passion Craft tournament, right? And then he lost to Anticore, is that what happened? Bottom left side, the man who made it into the semi-finals of the Passion Craft tournament, but made it into the upper bracket final of the BYOC tournament in Atlanta. We can't even bully him for it. It's one of the greatest runs we've seen from an underdog in a while. This is our pal Serral, UpATree, the Canadian Terran player. Yeah, TVT best of 5 with Serral could take a little while, but we're not in any rush in the Big Brain Bouts. Obviously, there are 2 more matches to go, but players will know how it goes. I give them an estimate of when the games will most likely start. And for online series, I think you can kind of do 1 hour per best of 5. Some are going to be a bit longer, some are going to be a bit shorter, but in general, 1 hour per best of 5 is a schedule that you can kind of hang on to. At offline events, it's different because you have to worry about technical difficulties and people have to set up their mouse and their keyboard. So I know it's harder for ESL to schedule things than it is for me. 3 Lennox for Ruddy, PSV. PSV is very good this year, mate. But it is good for Dutch football. I'm not that upset that they are doing well. It would be nice if they start losing a little bit in the Dutch league. It was very sad to see them beat Reynor in the stadium. I actually went to that game. It was in the middle of the Home Story Cup weekend. And on Sunday morning, I woke up in Krefeld. I drove over to RotterdaM at like 9 a.m. in the morning. Arrived, had lunch, breakfast, and then walked into the stadium. Watched my team lose, and then I had to drive back to Krefeld again. Obviously, by the time I was driving back, I was like, this was a pretty stupid idea, Roddy. Why did you do this? But you know. It sounded so fun in theory. I was like, I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to go to RotterdaM. I'm going to watch the game. Stadium is going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. Some nice food. We're going to win. I'm going to be all happy. I come back. Final day of Home Story Cup. I was like, this is a great idea. And then you actually do it. And you wake up too early. You're like, damn it, I'm tired. Stuck in a car forever. He finally arrived. It was cold as balls in the stadium. People were sliding all over the stairs, falling down. Long lines for food and drinks. And then we lost. I'm like, damn it. Terrible idea. But you know, it's one of these things that you have to do it, and then once you do it, you're like, oh, okay. Now I know in the future that if a similar opportunity presents itself, I won't do it anymore. 1 gate fast expand into a Stargate is the opening here for Flexy. As Serral, Serral bonkers, guys. I don't know what Serral saw to give him. Oh my goodness. Leave it up to Serral, guys, to go bunker on the high ground against Sentry first. Alright, no bullying, guys, no bullying. You know, a lot of our mommies have told us when we were young that it's better to be safe than sorry, and Serral really took this advice to heart. Is there a chance that he's going for a quick armory here? Because it is double heli and into a quad Widowmine drop by the looks of it. I kind of feel that if this is the build you want to go for, you should probably drop an early armory. I mean, it's just an idea. Don't know if that is the plan or not. I hope this is not a Raven, by the way, because I kind of fear the worst. I think the Stargate is picture perfect. Okay, it's not a Raven. It's a medevac with fake cloak. Serral's cooking, man. This is where we're just gonna let our pal Serral cook. One of the Hellions gets lifted by the Phoenix. There is nothing that really shoots up other than the Sentry, so that will take a little while. Hellion number 2 is going to keep the Protoss busy, but won't deal any damage. I don't see an armory yet. Not feeling super hopeful about this start for UpATree, to be completely honest with y'all. Now, Flexy is good, but he's definitely not as good as Maples. Maples did fall victim to UpATree in the BYOC tourney. Build otherwise. Oh my god, now he goes Raven too. So, why does Serral think he's Maru, guys? I kind of feel like game 1 has disaster written all over it. The idea for this show match is that it's around 5,200 MMR. Now, I know some of you guys will be like, oh, Roddy, Serral 5'2", he's been struggling at 4'8". I know, but I think his performance in the BYOC tournament shows that Serral obviously is good, as he is going to boost in these Widowmine drops. Okay, this actually... Oh, can he kill the ops? Oh, Serral, baby! The Widowmine shot connects with the Phoenix and actually kills the Observer too. Unfortunately, he did on-burrow one of these mines, which is, I think, is a bit of a missed opportunity. Alright, so it started off very exciting. Connecting with the Phoenix and killing the Ups was fantastic. Well, at least there was a lot of lost mining time. But it's obviously not a very economic opening. Oh my goodness, he's going double Raven. Sell. I'm trying to make sense of this, guys. And I just don't get it. Maybe we're gonna bank the Ravens in the bottom right side and then only reveal them by the time we try to stim in and kill the Colossus. But if he's just gonna rally this thing in, yeah, okay. If we're hiding it, I can sort of live with it. I don't think it's a good plan, but okay. 2 more Widow Mines burrowed here in the natural. Could connect with the Phoenix. Will at least one of them will connect. Hey, that's pretty good. So Flexy's Phoenix play is nothing to really brag about so far. Has made a few more errors than I feel like he was supposed to make. Is still in a really good spot, I think, in this game. But we're also 1 Widow Mine or 2 Widow Mine shots away from every single Phoenix dying. And that would give me some hope for Serral. I don't know if Flexy is the kind of Protoss that does Phoenix Colossus every single game. If he does, I don't think it's going to be a bad series, but that does mean that the first 7-8 minutes are going to be very, very similar and identical. And then it really comes down to Serral if he wants to spice things up. Phoenix Colossus is a great build in this matchup for the Protoss, but it is not very exciting to watch in the beginning. You don't think he's a Twilight player? Well, that would suck for us. Unless Serral has a couple of cool early game aggression builds up his sleeve, but... And the work account looks absolutely fantastic for Flexy. His army may not be that impressive, but as long as he keeps spending his money, he's going to be in an amazing position here. Macro is good on the man from Poland. On the side of the man from Poland. Serral has 5 racks, right? Yeah. So 5 racks, 2 base. I believe that in the magical run that our pal Serral had at the BYOC, there was a lot of aggression. I saw a lot of low HP bio in the main base. I think game 1 will really all come down to this, guys, because if UpATree does not straight up kill Flexy here, I think he's kind of dead. Does seem that he cancelled Raven number 2, which makes me happy. He could drop Interference Matrix, but if you do it, yeah, you need to stim forward, and the stim is from very far away. There is a shield battery. There is 1 Colossus left. I'm afraid that we are way too Marine heavy here on the side of Serral. That even a single Colossus is going to keep his army at bay. At least the tanks are going to get a bit closer. What can our pal Serral do here? He does have 77 army supply against 41. That part looks good, but the Raven has no more energy. One of the Phoenixes is going to get picked off. I think 2 tanks is not enough. The tanks are going to get lifted, and these Colossus will just solo the army. 3 bases, 67 workers against 2 bases and 44 SCVs. Whatever Serral had in mind here for game 1 of this best of 5. I want to say it didn't really work out, but Flexy does need to start spending his money. Nice snipe actually on that pilot. Means that Flexy is going to float even more. Maybe these tanks can get a tiny bit closer. Is there hope? I really felt like there should have not been any hope, but... killing that pilot, and now the Colossus actually very low on HP. One of the Colossus dies. Serral? Is this actually still going to sort of work, guys? Flexy had so much money. Seems like he's gonna give up on his base, or will he still try to save it with Colossus and Zealots? Gets the Nexus. Didn't get too many of the probes though, so he's still down 24 workers. And Serral has never built a 3rd command center. Okay, he's gonna build one now. Perhaps, guys, perhaps. Alibaba HeroMarine. Not Alibaba, mate. AliExpress. We ordered Big Gabe. And then Serral's parents said we have Big Gabe at home. With the tanks now, guys, in a pretty good spot. I'm starting to become a bit of a believer. I really felt that this was not going to go anywhere. But Flexy losing that pylon that powered his battery, where he had all those extra Zealots being wiped in as well. And then just floating a little bit too much money while he was being attacked. Allowed Serral's attack that looked dead on arrival to actually become pretty successful. Now most of the Phoenixes have died, so our pal Cell is actually going to get an 8 Marine drop into the back of the main base as well. And this is very difficult to deal with. We're going to take a look at the fight as a lot of the Archons have warped in. And that means that this is at least good enough for Flexy to make his way through the tanks. He's going to force Cell home for a while. All these gateways have warped in enough Zealots and Stalkers by the looks of it to deal with a tiny Marine drop too. So I was hopeful there for a split second. Now I'm less hopeful again. But Cell is coming back. Feedback killing a medevac. You see, multi-feedback can be good, but Marines and Marauders stimming forward, getting on top of a Nexus. Cell's already killed one. Can he get the second one? Oh, yes, he can. What is this, a Widow Mine? Oh, it's a Marine. Alright. What we now really need on the side of Cell. Cell, maybe a bunker or two here, mate. You know you've done a lot of economic damage. You know he's about to A-move you on your side of the map. I feel like set up these Liberators, battle on top of the ramp. I wouldn't hate a bunker or like more tanks. The armory is online, by the way. That means that the Widow Mines are going to be permanently cloaked. Can Cell find a cheeky way to get on top of these Colossus? There is no storm. Kind of a fun game. Very messy game. Proper scrappy. But it is fun. It's gonna be very difficult to stim into this Protoss army with all these Archons, but the Ghost Academy is done, guys. So, oh, Cell attacking the rocks. Cell's attacking the rocks. Cell's still attacking the rocks. Cell now knows that there is a Protoss army attacking him. A couple of Widow Mines have burrowed. Widow Mines will connect with the Zealots and the Archons. Cell feels that this is the moment to turn around and fight. These Marauders on the left side are derping. Cell's going to the top. He's going back. He's going to the top again. It's just a couple of Marauders remaining. The Liberator got a bunch of shots out of it as well. If that army, guys, that was going back and forth, up and down 3 times, would have just attacked the Colossus immediately, maybe it would have gone a bit better. Those Widow Mines are about to come off cooldown. So I'll just build the Ghost Academy. It's such a shame that he took a fight against 4 Archons right before he had a couple of Ghosts. The flanking Widow Mines, though, guys. The flanking Widow Mines. Come on, Flexy. Yes. Boom, boom. What? Okay. Don't ask me why. They didn't fire. Cell throws down a scan on the other side of the map to see if Flexy has retaken that base. The answer is yes. He's also retaking the base at 3 o'clock. So it is now 4 base Protoss against 2 base. Soon to be 3 base-ish. But only 40 SCVs UpATree. Army supplies are close. Not sure if Cell has the income to like rebuild a bunch of Vikings, Liberators, Ghosts. Yeah. This was a weird game. It looked like it was not going to go anywhere. Then it looked promising. Then it looked like it was not going to be enough. Then it looked like it would be enough. And now it looks very good for Flexy again. I'm afraid now Flexy is just a bit too well set up. With Zealot charge, he's got some upgrades coming online as well. 10 gateways in total. And Blink will be ready soon as well. I am afraid that this is going to be it. I look at this Terran army and I just don't believe that it can kill 3 Colossus. Unless Flexy would seriously derp, but I don't think he's done too much derping this game. Well, perhaps made a mistake losing that pylon near that battery that allowed him to lose the Nexus in the first place. Because I think the Zealots would have been good enough. But in the end, after 14 minutes, it is the Polish Protoss Flexy who takes the 1-0 lead. Well, Cell did get a bit unlucky because I think Cell went for a build order that would be very good against a variation of Protoss openings. It's just not very good against Phoenix. Then he got a tiny bit fortunate with the first Widow Mine shot, connecting with the Phoenix that actually killed the Observer too, because the Observer was on top of the Phoenix. And then he unburrowed a couple of the mines, they got lifted, and he was just in a very crappy spot. Made the best of it. Somehow killed not 1 but 2 main bases. Unfortunately, that was not enough to bring home the dub. Alright, we'll double check something quickly, guys. TKO's in the lobby, Flexy's in the lobby, I'm in the lobby. The only one that is missing is Cell. Maybe Cell's just taking a little moment for himself. It is, of course, just a single best of 5 that these guys are doing. We're going to be here. We're going to watch all 4. But for a lot of these guys, it is all about this single best of 5. Maybe they'll do a longer stream. But, you know, it doesn't really matter how many ladder games you win. If you play one best of 5 in the Big Brain Bouts, $80 for the winner. Yeah, you obviously want to make sure that everything goes the way that you want it to go. And if something is off, you take care of it. But the nerds are ready for video game number 2. Yeah, I saw it, yo. Nothing like the 000. But I believe the second half is going to be fireworks. And I believe game 2 between these two video gamers is going to be fireworks. Let's do it.
Round 2. Fight!
Does seem like UpATree takes it seriously. I mean, he should, right? Obviously, it's not the biggest of deal. It's not like we're going to make or break our entire year. But, you know, you get invited. You know, people are watching. There is money on the line. You're going to do your best for a single best of 5. And I know that Cell will always do his best. If he doesn't feel like trying, he wouldn't accept the invite. Because he is that much of a sweetheart. Top left side of Oceanborn. We are looking at the main base of our Polish Protoss, who has taken the 1-0 lead. And may actually be up to no good here, guys. As we have a pylon, a gateway, but potentially more gateways. Polish Protoss, that is a Flexy. Also a Terran. I don't know what this face is, by the way. I'm sure it's a meme, but I'm not familiar with the meme. Bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who needed a tiny second after game 1. But he is ready to continue video games. Honestly, I kind of feel that at this level, if I was a Terran, I would just try to become a master of like a Reaper opening, fast expand, double Widowmine drop, take the game from there. Because I feel like that will always be good. And that is going to force you to practice with certain pushes and bio and kiting over and over again. A lot more than these wide variety of openings where it's very hit or miss with how much damage you would deal. But everyone should play the game the way that they enjoy it the most and what they believe in. This is our Canadian Terran, UpATree. There's a skull. Next series, guys, is going to be a TVZ between Mixu and Dolan. That is actually a match that I already made in Atlanta. We were hanging out in the hotel lobby and a bunch of them were just talking about the Big Brain Bouts. And they said, thank you for inviting me in the past. When are you going to do one again? And I was like, hey, we can do some matchmaking right now. Make my life easier. I was like, you want to play? And Dolan's like, I absolutely want to play. I always want to play. I was like, Mixu? He's like, yeah, of course. I was like, Mixu, Dolan. They're like, sure. I was like, okay. Match mate, done. Took me 20 seconds, guys. It's a lot easier than sending out 20 messages and see which pro gamer is available, who wants to play, who's in the mood to play. So, should be fun. The Westin lobby was responsible for that one. Let's hope it's a good series. Now, whenever there is a Zealot running to the other side of the map, that is a bit of a tell. There is a Stalker already as well, but Cell did decide to build a bunker here, guys, and that is very good news for our pal Cell. That is obviously what you would need against the Proxy Rex. If you don't have a bunker here, this could have been very annoying, because then your SCV that's still building a bunker or is trying to build one gets picked up. The SCV that's building the command center can be under fire. This is actually a very promising start. We had a Cyclone, I believe, on the production tab as well, but Cell seems to think that he doesn't need it. Okay, now he's going to build one again. I'm not sure why he felt he didn't need that initially. I'd say you always need that. Yeah, I kind of like the bunker positioning as well. Kind of like it being in the middle makes sense. Flexy knows that his proxy gate has not quite done what he was hoping it would get done. Is this probe stuck, by the way? It shouldn't be, right? Maybe it is. Might be stuck. That's very annoying. I would put it on patrol so it won't bother me. But or you just kill it. Or recall it, actually. Recalling is fine too. But yeah, obviously Flexy cannot be happy with how this has gone. Later expand, investing in the gate, in the pylon. He's now going to go for the recall. And all that Cell needs to ask himself is, alright, if a Protoss made this investment and got absolutely nothing done, what are they likely to follow all of this up with? And the answer, quite often, is something among the lines of Dark Templars. Weird recall for one Cyclone, yeah. Especially now that he's running the stocks to the other side of the map again. Not totally certain what that recall was all about. Panic recall, perhaps. Blink is 40% done. I hope for Serral that he is going to be able to see this Dark Shrine. But if we fly deep into the main base, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. First two Dark Templars did get warped in though. Now we have a Raven that is being produced out of the star, but it's going to take a little while. Take a look at the orbitals. One scan available, guys, in 5 seconds from now. Not quite available yet. UpATree is about to get the heads up that this is happening. This is real. The DTs are here. Widow Mines, obviously. Oh, it's not Widow Mines. One Widow Mine, one Cyclone, one Reaper, one Marine have some potential. Killing this Spiner would be kind of good, by the way, because that would delay Blink by quite a bit. The Serral threw down a scan, but he doesn't get a single of the two Dark Templars. But the good news is that he does have a Raven now. Lost a decent amount, but also killing 5 probes. Lost mining time. I think we can live with this, guys. This is not too bad for the Terran, especially now that UpATree is able to get a few more probes here. And that Widowmine, guys, hasn't even fired yet. UpATree with a great Widowmine shot. Well, it's not bad. Not bad at all. 5 more probes go down. Seems like the DTs killed a few more SCVs as well on the other side of the map. But still, that's not bad. I think it's pretty good, guys. Blink is 85% done. Obviously, the first best of 5 and the 3-0. We don't want back-to-back 3-0s. We definitely don't want any additional 3-0s tonight. I'm pretty hopeful that this game is going to go in favor of the Terran. Even though UpATree is down 7 workers, but he still has all the potential in the world to deal some more damage with the Cyclone, the Marine. It looked more than 5, but I guess Flexy just didn't have too many probes left, right? 5 probes over a Protoss that only has like 36 probes is still a very big deal. Funny drop defense here. 2 Zealots and a DT. We have Blink, but where are the Stalkers then? Seems like all the Stalkers are chilling on the other side of the map. I wouldn't hate double auto turret. Seems like UpATree really wants to kill this Dark Templar, and he will. Lost one of the Marines, but hey, trading out a Marine for a DT is obviously pretty solid. Auto turrets are gonna go down. Drops 2 of them immediately. Kills 4 additional workers, so it's not too bad. Seems that Flexy just wants to transition into a lot of gateway units, Stalkers and Zealots with Blink. Well, Stalkers with Blink, Zealots with Charge. It feels that UpATree is not building a lot of SCVs. Maybe it's supply blocks. I don't know what is stopping us from building SCVs, because he is way more workers down right now than I feel like he should be down. If he just gets a crazy amount of Marines, Marauders, couple Widow Mines, he's not going to lose against Zealots and Stalkers. Even if a couple of Archons show up, he doesn't have to lose against that. But there is really no reason for Serral to be 19 workers down now. Thank you to Torxes for the 4 months. I appreciate it, matey. Mm, 22 worker deficit is a little intimidating. Now, Widow Mines and +1 bio, very good against Zealots that don't have any armor upgrades. We don't even have a Sentry in the mix, so there is no Guardian Shield to worry about. It's a push with game-ending potential, but we obviously need to micro well. And that is not always a given when we are watching UpATree. I hope this time around, though, it will be, as we have a tiny distraction drop in the back of the natural. The Widow Mines are already burrowed, that's pretty sweet. The Zealots may just charge in immediately, and if they are clumped up and all 3 Widow Mines fire, it's going to be fantastic. Flexy is flanking with the Stalkers, who just lost all the Stalkers. Did kill one of the tanks, and 2 of the 4 Widow Mines did fire, but not sure if that's the best way to donate 5 Stalkerinos. We have a couple of DTs trying to distract UpATree on the other side of the map. That won't happen. I don't know about this Reaper drop. What I do know is that killing the Nexus and killing 12 probes is mighty fine. Don't go home, Serral. Just keep pushing, mate. Why are we going home? If we just want to recollect our forces and keep going, I'm fine with it, but I don't want to see him slow the game down too much. Like this medevac has a crazy amount of energy. This is not one that you want to lose. It could get feedback here. It might get feedback, or Stalkers will just blink. It's a shame to lose that one. Because if the whole reason why he backed off is because he only had one medevac at first that was out of energy. There you have a medevac with a crazy amount of energy. This looks like a severe mismatch. I mean, Blue 292. I feel like you are a severe mismatch in my channel tonight. And that is impressive, mate, because we kind of welcome everyone over here. Not too many people are not appreciated. But it seems that you in the channel is a pretty severe mismatch at the moment. Couple of SCVs do get picked off on the other side of the map, but we're going to focus on this army. Storm is not done yet. It will be done 10 seconds from now. We left a couple of bio units behind. We have a missile turret that is going to grant some more detection. The Widow Mines have on board. Not sure about that move. Go for the High Templar still. Ay, ay, ay. Jeez Louise. He could have actually just targeted all of the High Templars there with his Widow Mines. I don't know what's happening here. Zealots and Marines are both retreating alongside one another. Almost like they were buddies. The tanks did a crazy amount of friendly fire. Game still looks good for UpATree, but they should have gone better. Army was very clumped up. Had an opportunity to target the High Templars with his Widow Mines there. The good news is that most of the High Templars are now Archons, so they don't have too many Storms available anymore. There might be one Storm available and it goes down almost immediately. What is killing so many SCVs that quick? Apparently 2 Zealots and a DT. This game is actually starting to get pretty scary because Flexy has 1-1 upgrades now. Still dealing economic damage on the other side of the map with that very first gateway that UpATree has never looked for. We don't have an armory yet, right? Nope, we don't. This Protoss army looks pretty big. This Protoss army is ready to battle. Comes down a lot to the engagement and who engages who, but obviously Zealots with 1-1 so much more intimidating than Zealots with 0-0. I wouldn't say that it's like bad yet, but obviously everything that has happened. Hey, that is a lot of friendly fire, at least from one of the Widow Mines, but there were plenty of Widow Mines remaining. All of them do manage to fire in the end. If it's just Zealots going down, Cell needs to start taking care of this pylon and the gate. Here on the bottom side of the map. It has been there since the very beginning. Obviously, UpATree is a good enough player to understand that the first Stalker showed up way too quick. So it must have been a proxy gate. He played against it like it was proxy gate. So it's a bit of a shame that he never looked for it. And will still apparently not look for it. As a Ghost Academy, can produce a couple of ghosts. And as long as Flexy doesn't have 2 Robos and a Robo Bay, I believe that Bio Widow Mine Ghost can still get the job done. But it's a bit of a shame because this game was over. Like, it was in the bag. And now he's just gonna have to work very hard for it. Next is at 170 energy. This one 86. This one has been using Chrono Boost a decent amount, so not too shabby in that regard. It's also crazy that this Robo is the very first Robo. If UpATree would have built an armory in any of the previous 5 minutes, all of those Widow Mines would have stayed there forever. And then you can also just continue pushing. That triple drop in the top side of the map is cool and all, but if the Stalkers blink forward and kill these medevacs, we are going to lose a lot that we're not supposed to lose. But, okay, one of the medevacs with a lot of cargo does go down. On the side of the map, a lot of Zealots have been warped in. Seems that the answer on the side of UpATree is quite good. Armory is ready now. As you guys can see, there's a little red laser coming out of the head of the Widow Mine. Cell is using a lot of supply to deal with just a couple of Zealots, which opens the door at the third base. And now these SCVs go through the meat grinder. UpATree forced to run into High Templars as well, so the Storms will connect. Very chaotic game. 14 SCVs fall again. 45. Wow, that's funny by the way. They both killed 45 workers of one another. After 14 minutes of video gaming, 45 probes died and 45 SCVs died. I don't know why we just loaded up a bunch of units. A couple of Marines and Marauders will try to get on top of this fourth base again. Flexy is sending you... Oh, that's an early cancel, man. A very early cancel, because I think he would have been able to save this. It's only 3 Marines and 2 Marauders, and the Archons and Stalkers were nearby. Better to be safe than sorry. We have one observer, but that's just chilling in the back of the main base. Will Serral ever find this gate? Will he ever look for it? Do you guys think he's asking himself, man, where do all these zealots keep coming from? I just don't get it. Seems like he's not asking himself that question. Tiny drop in the back of the main as, well, we have Ghost here. We have plenty of Widow Mines. If we land the EMPs on the High Templars, this Terran army is absolutely capable of wiping the floor with the Protoss army. It comes down to EMPs. Might get a Nexus here, actually. Very casually gets another Nexus. Leaves a Widow Mine behind as well. There are Zealots coming in from every angle. High Templar flanking from the right. UpATree is running away from it. That Observer, guys, is not here. So Flexy is about to run through a minefield of Widow Mines. There's a couple of EMPs land. Finally, the Observer has shown up. A couple of Storms will get dropped. It's 108 supply each. Jeez Louise, well, these fights are weird. These fights are weird. These fights are chaotic. As another Nexus has died. UpATree throws down a scan in the top right, wondering if Flexy has that base. The answer to the question is no. This Widow Mine just killed 5 probes, I believe. I mean, the upgrades, guys. We have +1 now against 2-2. 1-1 against 2-2. Widow Mines are good and the EMPs are good, but I'm afraid that that's going to be too much to overcome. There is a chance. At least he has those units. Like, if we don't have Widow Mines and Ghost, obviously there is no way in hell that Bio is ever going to win if they're down this many upgrades. But your Widow Mines don't really care about upgrades. Ghosts don't really care about these upgrades. And there was, I think, a Robo, but yeah, the Robo hasn't been used for anything but observers. Which were mandatory, by the way, as an EMP lands, double EMP even. So that's 3 Archons going down immediately. UpATree still up for the supply, just wants to go full pull. Wants to kill another Nexus. Got close to it, didn't finish it off in the end, so he turns around with his entire army. Eats a massive storm to the face, eats another storm to the face. But he did land a magical EMP on 4 High Templars. And these Bio units down, guys, down 3 upgrades, they just don't give a damn. The High Templars morph into Archons in the face of the Terran army. UpATree, still losing some stuff against DTs at home, but these probes are being rallied straight into his army. Stalkers now have 3-3 against Marauders with 1-0. 3-3 Stalkers and they blink back. Serral wants to get another base. This is a ridiculous game. I don't know what I'm looking at, but Flexy is forced to cancel a Nexus for the 5th time tonight. There are still some probes evacuating to a new base. Serral has thrown down a scan over here on the left. He sees that base has not been taken. This Widow Mine will burrow here and has potential to get a big shot off. There are still mines everywhere. Oh, over here. Stalkers running through Widow Mines. Is he paying attention? He's not paying attention. So, why didn't you go for the base then? Okay, because there are no probes there. The Liberator has found the gate! Unbelievable. UpATree's like, wait! He had a proxy gate! Yes, he did, mate. Yes, he did. Couple of probes getting EMP'd as well. As Nexus number 6 or something. Nexus number 5 will go down. Well, UpATree is winning, but it's so important, guys, that he actually ends the game early. Because he's still down 4 freaking upgrades. And a Robo base coming online as well. So I would like to see UpATree just end this game as he lands another EMP on a couple of these Stalkers. We're obviously cheering for the man who's down 0-1 because we don't like 3-0s. Way too many probes have fallen in the making of this video game, by the way. 95. Are we gonna go for 100? I don't think these guys are a mismatch at all. I think these guys are perfect for each other. They bring out the worst in one another, and that is exactly what we want in the Big Brain Bouts. Absolute proper clown fiestas. 19 minutes, 100 probes have died, 5 Nexi have died. The man who's down 4 upgrades is winning the game. This is everything I look for on the Friday night when I am enjoying some video games. GG gets called. UpATree never took out that gate, by the way, guys. I just want y'all to know that this gate will continue to live, continue to warp in Zealots and DTs. But after 20 minutes, we're all tied up. Not sure what this was all about, but I know it was fun. The gate was bait. UpATree just had a read on it. And he's like, yeah, keep doing it. Because that means you have less units at home. And that means that I can still win while I'm down 4 upgrades. This was a pretty fun game. It was not a pretty game. I think it's not the game that either of these two players would put in their portfolio to impress future teams or orgs on why they should be picked up, because they're amazing at Starcraft. But it was fun for us to watch. Was a lot of supply blocks for both? I know it was, mate. I'm also looking at the numbers. 140, 144. No, funny callers got hacked. I cannot do co-casters on the Friday night. Not in the Big Brain Bouts. The nerds are ready for a round 3. Well, if this was a sign of things to come, we're in for a bit of a roller coaster for these remaining games. I hope it goes to distance, guys. This is kind of the series that I want to see go all the way. I want to see more SCVs fall, more probes fall. More guys winning when they're down heavily in upgrades, making it look like upgrades really don't matter all that much. That's all I want. Toot, 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 toot. USB pedals are permitted at offline SC2 events or keyboard mice only? What do you mean with USB pedals, mate? What are USB pedals? Game 3 of our second best of 5 is live. This is the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts number 44. If any of you guys just joined, the Big Brain Bouts is very simple, straightforward. 4 best of 5s come your way. Throughout the night, they get better, they get more fun, the players are better. The idea is to get some evenly matched competition across the board and give an opportunity to some players to win prize money that normally don't win prize money, because that is very hard in Starcraft. Unless you are way above 6,000 MMR, most tournaments are going to be very difficult to have a proper run in. These guys are around 5,200 MMR, and we're all tied up after 2 matches. Top left side of Heartlet, we are looking at the main base of the Polish Protoss, who also plays a lot of Terran. This is Flexy. Won game 1 with Phoenix Colossus, lost game 2 with a proxy gate and a lot of Zealots, DT, Storm, etc. Bottom right side, the man who made it into the upper bracket final of the DreamHack Masters Atlanta BYOC tournament. That was probably the biggest success of his competitive video gaming career. And he wants to follow that up with a win on the Friday night. This is UpATree. Da, na, na. If I was Flexy, I wouldn't really be too concerned about a lot of things that took place in that previous game. I think any game where you go for a proxy gate is very different by default, so all of the regular timings are kind of out of the window. And B, he won a relatively standard first game, even though that got a bit messy and scrappy as well after he had a hard time spending his money. And he lost that base at 3 o'clock that he wasn't supposed to lose. But he could probably look at this best of 5 and say, I can just play Phoenix Colossus again, right? And I'd be fine. What I am surprised by is that so many Protoss players around this level truly prefer the Phoenix Robo over the Phoenix Twilight. Well, I actually think that Phoenix Twilight is easier to play and is a lot more effective up to 5,500 MMR. And that really is the thing. Some builds are just good up to a certain level, and even then above that level they can work, but it will come down to some variables, or you need to play incredibly well. Well, I feel like any Protoss that struggles in this matchup, any Terran that's not above 5.5 will have no idea what to play against Phoenix Zealot. You can just stay low on gas, you can just make 8 gates, spam some units, and A-move a whole bunch. Happy to hear, David49. Thank you for being here, of course, and that goes for you and everybody else that has decided to stop by. Where is my glue wine, by the way, guys? I thought Vicky was on the payroll for tonight. I thought I was gonna get non-stop glue wines delivered. Final Friday of the year, 2023. It's almost over. I hope you guys were happy with your year, at least to some degree when it comes to personal accomplishments or achievements or goals that you set out. I would say that I succeeded in some of my goals, completely failed in others. But overall, it was just another fun year of Starcraft. That's how I will remember it. Did get to do a couple of things for the first time that I did not ever do before. Like travel to Italy to watch a football game, that was super fun. I went to Saudi Arabia. Never thought I would ever go to Saudi Arabia when I was a kid, so that was fun. She stopped playing Stray as well. Yeah, I miss the kitty, miss Vicky, miss the glue wine service. But she is very often lurking in the shadows though, guys. The fireplace unfortunately has to be retired. That was a really great idea for a week, and now whenever I try to watch football there is a fireplace burned into my television. It's incredibly annoying, and I kind of have to get a new TV eventually. It's not like that bad that I can't watch anymore, and whenever I watch regular TV, whether it's a movie or TV shows, I don't see anything, but as soon as I watch football I see the entire blueprint or the entire holograph of that fireplace. So yeah, that was a great idea for a couple of days. I hope you guys really enjoyed those cozy streams. I am severely regretting them. It looked beautiful, but rip television. How can that happen? That just happens with OLED TVs. And I think the TV turned itself off twice by protection. But I'm just an idiot and I don't know anything about technology. And I was like, oh, why did my TV stop? Back to the fireplace. So yeah, now that image is kind of printed into my TV. At this point, I may as well permanently make it the fireplace TV. And that's all it will ever do. Well. Yeah, we've tried to fix whatever we could, but I think whatever is left is gonna be there. Now, this is not bad with anything else. It's just with football that it kind of bothers me. It's okay. We'll survive, guys. The biggest problem in life is that I have a small distraction whenever I'm watching football matches on the TV. Don't think we have too much to complain about. I've had it for a couple of years, so I don't think there is warranty left. But maybe Philips can do something for me. Maybe I can sneak into the DMs and be like, hey, my stream really loves you guys, but good thing you don't watch much football. Yeah. I mean, at least I have a beautiful phone. Anyway, everything that I said in the beginning of Game 1 kind of goes here for Game 3, guys. Between Flexy and UpATree. I love Phoenixes, and I think Phoenixes are very good. But whenever you play Phoenix Robo against a Terran, just not a whole lot happens in the first 5, 6, 7 minutes. There's nothing that the Terran can really do that's great, unless it is like an early 3-Rex, right, where you try to contain the Protoss a little. Sending out a Raven, sending out a Medevac to deal damage against Phoenixes, yeah, that's just not going to do a whole lot for you. So, you often see the Terrans just sit at home and macro and put all their eggs in one basket. And I gotta say, Cell's macro has looked good this game. Now, I'm happy that it did, because not a whole lot has happened. And I'm kind of concerned here for Flexy, because this is not what you want if you play Phoenix Colossus. You do wanna find some freebies, lift a Marine, lift a Marauder, get a couple SCVs, delay the build from flowing nicely, maybe find a Medevac, right? Not getting anything done with your Phoenix, and I don't count one Marine and a Reaper as something. So not getting anything done with your Phoenix in the first 8 minutes means that the first push is terrifying. But he is going to go into Tempest very quickly. And Tempests are very good in dealing with tank pushes. So, the first 8 minutes are over and things should be fun from here on out. As the force field goes down, double interference matrix lands as well. That means that the rest of the Protoss army is just not very good. Cell keeps on stimming, gets the first Colossus, gets the second one as well. And now even the pylon falls, so the cannons are unpowered. Shield battery overcharge is unpowered. Not too many Marines are left over. I think there is enough energy actually on the Phoenixes to kill every single Marauder in the tank here. So in the end, this may turn into a hold. Okay, reinforcements have arrived. Even if these Marines die, guys, it is nice because it's draining a lot of the energy of the Phoenixes. And that means that these tanks are still doing their thing. They're still shelling away at the Nexus. And with a Marauder and a Hellion, apparently, we might be able to get this Nexus. Alright. So the Nexus dies, the Love Protoss units fell. Decent amount of Terran units went down too. How much energy is left over? 1 or 2 more lifts available. 1 more Colossus has been produced. Good fight though by Cell. UpATree was hiding that Raven in the top right side of the map. Banked up a bunch of energy. Research Interference Matrix stimmed forward, and what I love the most about the way that he executed that attack is that he was decisive and he just went for it. Too often we see Terran players be like, Matrix, yes, no, they stim, they go back, they stim, they turn around again, and it's just too much. UpATree dropped the Matrixes, stimmed forward twice, right-clicked the buyer right next to that Colossus and gunned them down. Is that going to be good enough to win the game? Well, it's a start, but obviously he needs to continue making magic happen. It is a bit harder to keep on attacking into a bunch of Tempests. Missile turrets, it's great against the Phoenix, not very good against Tempest, but I guess he just does not know. Throws down a scan, sees the Phoenixes, should be able to get a cancel on this Nexus rather easily. As long as it's not done, you cannot heal it up with the battery, so... UpATree gets a cancel. Now he knows that it's Tempest. Good Widowmine shot here. Marines turn around, but... I wouldn't hate the idea of just temporarily retreating here, going home. We have double starport, yes. The double starport, hopefully with double reactor, he is working on that second reactor. If you can build 4 Vikings at a time, what is very important now, guys, for UpATree, is that he does not attack with a crappy Viking count. Like, you don't attack with 4 Vikings or 5 Vikings, no. What you want to do is attack all out, like 10 plus Vikings, and then you just right-click a bunch of expensive Protoss units down one by one. I say 10, but I wouldn't even hate like 12, 14, something like that. And Coco with the gifted subby. Gifting subs is 25% off a while. I've received so many gifted subs, Coco, you don't even want to know. Thank you, Queen. Hopefully you had a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Can't wait for our New Year's call. They're gonna call me right when it's 12 o'clock. That's normally when Coco and Waddy FaceTime each other. Happy New Year. So one of the Colossus gets picked off. I don't know what this chase is, but it is working at least on both of these Colossus. Not one, but 2 of them go down. Phoenixes are now lifting a couple of the remaining Terran units. This is a very chaotic attack. This is just unlike anything I've ever seen. 2 Marauders, a couple of Marines, and a tank survive. But the carrier is going to show up. And we should see a shield battery, guys, keeping a Nexus alive. I know that we did not get to see that in the first game of today, but... So he gets the Colossus, but he loses everything else. It's only 3 bases. It is 63 SCVs, though. Do we have another orbital somewhere? We don't. I would have been okay with how a lot of that played out if UpATree had at least 1 more command center, if not 2 more command centers. But since he's only on 3 bases, it's pretty expensive to lose those medevacs, tanks, and even the bio units. And the bio units obviously matter because he's getting +2 attack and +2 armor. We need to expand more, guys. If UpATree wants to win this game, he's gonna need a couple of additional bases. At least 1, but ideally 2. This game is the Protoss that don't want upgrades. Well, last game he had all the upgrades. And he didn't win. But when you play Phoenix, Colossus, Carrier, like... The air upgrades are legitimately more important than anything else you can go for. And he is focusing on those, so... I don't really hate what Flexy is doing. You can always get a couple of Disruptors later. He already has 1. I'm worried for UpATree. I don't know how good his Viking micro is. I don't know if he has any. If we would have expanded quicker and we had 80 SCVs, 5 bases, maybe a couple goals, then I'd be like, oh yeah, you can absolutely defeat this Protoss army. You just go in there with a bunch of Vikings, you land a couple EMPs, you kill a few carriers, you disengage, and you do it all over again once all the interceptors have retreated back into the carrier. But right now I'm afraid that UpATree is just a bit too broke. Maybe Flexy gives him time. And if Flexy gives him time and UpATree can get a bit closer to maxing out, there is a chance that Vikings and Liberators can get the job done. He's going for a lot of libs early. Now, libs are very funny against carriers because there are magical moments where all the interceptors clump up and the Liberators one-shot all the interceptors, but that is not something you can truly rely on. I feel like you're not really in control of that. It really kind of depends on how the interceptors move and what the Protoss decides to right-click on. Sometimes Liberators can be good in actually just straight up attacking Protoss air units if all of them are on top of each other. the splash damage can truly add up. And once more, these are all things you kind of rely on when you're rich. Again, BBB without me, but you're not even playing any Starcraft, mate. You're only playing Stormgate, and that's okay. But if anybody cannot complain about a lack of invites, Night Phoenix, it is you. If we ever do big brain bouts for Stormgate, you'll be the first to get invited. Now, armor upgrades for the Vikings and the Liberators would be very nice too. But I mean, the supply is getting up there, right? Flexy gave UpATree time to at least get a 4th base up and running, and now potentially even a 5th base. So, with great Viking micro, there is a tiny chance. I'm afraid, however, that +2 carriers are going to be way too powerful, and even +3 is already halfway done. We're going to keep an eye on that interceptor count, guys. At the moment, it is 87 freaking interceptors. When are you getting your rep? You know I would always love you, Mark. If you ever want to play, we can always make that happen. It has happened before, and we loved it. The people always want more Uthermal. Like, Night Phoenix has been invited 27 times, Uthermal once. Well, the Uthermal has been invited many times, but only played 1 time. The interceptor count, guys, is still at 70, but now a lot of them have gone down, and it has dropped all the way to 25. The only downside is that most of the units that can kill carriers have also disappeared. Marines are going to stim forward though, and UpATree, even though down only 60 supply, is kind of pushing this Protoss army back. Only 12 interceptors remain. We went from like 77 to 40 interceptors real quick. And now the Protoss actually has to recall out. Yeah, that's obviously not that bad, right? If you save most of your units. I mean, UpATree tried, and he did pretty good. But that interceptor count is going to be replenished real quick. 12 interceptors at once being built, and the next time we battle, it's not +2 carriers, it will be +3 carriers, and then I think the Terran is going to get A moved. Uthermal versus MaxPax, random versus random. I don't hate it. I think a lot of people would love to play random against random. I think Lambo versus Uthermal, random against random. To relive the glory days of that beautiful European rivalry. I think Lambo be down. If Uthermal is down, we can definitely make that happen. Lambo has actually specifically asked me quite a few times that he wants to play a Zerg in the big brain bouts with his Protoss, and I'm like, no, we're not gonna do that, mate. That's random against random. I'm all for, but I'm not going to support your off-race journey to humiliate some Zergy that's doing his best. That's not what we want. Reynor versus Clem PvP. I would like it. I don't think that Reynor would like to do that. I think Reynor hates PvP. Clem would like some PvP, I think. Well, he's not the biggest fan, but he'd be okay with it. But I think Reynor does not enjoy PvP. We have a nuke going down on the triangle base. Doesn't really get a whole lot. This game is, to me, not ultra eventful, to be completely honest with y'all. Because I see an army that I just don't think is going to lose. Unless you do the wrong thing. And that is just sit back while you're maxed out. You have money in the bank and you have +3. Like, there is no reason not to be attacking right now. And I do feel that the Flexy attacks and all of the interceptors are doing their thing. The Terran army should melt. If he's going to give UpATree more time to rebuild these bases and get close to being maxed out. How many Liberators do we have right now? 12. Alright, well. The keep an eye on the intercept account in the top left side game is going to be very fun. Does Clem ever sleep? Clem sleeps. From 8 AM till 8 PM. That's where you can't find the kid. No, these days he's pretty good with the sleep schedule, I believe. The days of Clem living like a waste man, as the kids call it, are, I wouldn't say long gone, but he hasn't done it a whole lot. This is the kind of game where in the middle of it, you could have honestly made yourself a nice cup of tea or perhaps a coffee, and well, you come back and the game is still going. I'm fascinated whenever we are maxed out. If we have +3, we gotta be attacking. We gotta try something, because the longer you wait, the bigger your opponent's army is going to get. Now there is a chance that maxed out Liberator, maxed out Viking actually wins the fight. These are very weird games for me. I'm still traumatized by one game that I had once right before the weekly. I forgot the name of this. Was it Hardwire maybe? If Hardwire was a kind of red, brown, dark-ish map, like red and black, I got A-moved once by a barcode Terran after like a 30-minute game where I was maxed out on Carrier Disruptor and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna win. And then I didn't just lose the fight against Viking Lip, I got absolutely obliterated. I killed barely anything and everybody was laughing. I did not have Storm. Flexy does have Storm though, so that should be a bit better. Alright, we have a massive Storm landing in the middle. Oh my goodness, the flanking High Templar shows up for round 2. So the first Storm was big, the second one is even better. And yeah, this Terran army is now a whole lot weaker than it was a little while ago. I have the feeling that Cell's just kind of had it with this game. And I can't really blame him for it, but yeah, Flexy keeps on letting him live. He'll probably keep on trying to find his way back into it, but this entire army is so low on HP. There are 94 interceptors available with +3 attack. The Medivacs are dying. The Viking micro is not quite what it's supposed to be because the Vikings are shooting at interceptors. And that's obviously not what we're looking for, as we've got Daddy Cakes giving us 10 suppies. That is perhaps the highlight of this game. We do have a couple of cells running into the triangle. I think that this is all over, guys. Unless the Liberators can kill every single interceptor one more time. And Flexy's gonna wait 5 more minutes, but he really shouldn't. Cell had a couple of cool moments in this game. He had some pushes, but then at one point, I kind of felt that he did too many things at once while not expanding. You cannot go double, triple starport, but also get 2-2 upgrades and stay on 3 bases. That is just a little too middle down the road. And he paid the price for it. GG gets gold after 21 minutes with a whole bunch of carriers with +3. It is Flexy, who will most likely now just go Phoenix Colossus again in game 4. As obviously, if he wins this series, he will walk away with $80. And yeah, he tried to go without it in game 2. He lost it 1. He did Phoenix Colossus in game 1 and game 3. He wins with it. And those games weren't even all that smooth. There is probably a chance where he has a much better build order scenario or where he gets off to a better start. And I don't see any reason for him to switch it up. I think Cell's initial push where he killed the Colossus, it really wasn't that bad. Where it just went wrong is that he stayed on 3 bases forever. Still played somewhat aggressive, but then also went triple starport. Went for the 2-2 bio upgrades. And yeah, if you're on 5-6 bases and you're containing the Protoss, like it's okay to do a bit of everything. But if you're on 3 bases, you have to choose carefully where you want to spend your resources. And it's safe to say that it wasn't really spent in the right location. I'm keeping an eye on it, yo. It's all good, mate. It's the holidays. It will change soon. Mass air armies is the absolute worst part of this game. It's not my favorite, but I don't really spend like entire evenings laying in bed staring at the ceiling where I was like, man, how much better would Starcraft be if mass air wasn't a thing? Because I think there are some scenarios where like BCs can be very fun against Tempest and Carriers, and I find Muda Corruptor pretty fun against Phoenixes and Void Rays. So there are definitely moments where it's fun. It's just not fun if nothing happens for 5-6 minutes. You went to make coffee, what happened? Carriers A moved. Actually, we had some sick flanking storms. To be fair, the storms were amazing. Maybe if those storms weren't as big, the fight would have been closer. Dark versus Classic. Exciting game, guys. Shows why Protoss needs a bit of help in the matchup, according to some people on Reddit.
Round 4. Fight!
Here we go, bottom right side of site Delta. We are looking at the main base of our Polish Protoss, who's also a high-level Terran player, taking the 2-1 lead on his debut in the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts, the final BBB of the year. It's his first appearance. I wasn't that familiar with him, but I saw him in Passioncraft. Seems like a nice dude, plays a lot of games, around 5,200 MMR. This is Flexy. And in the top left side, we need a bit of that bring your own computer DreamHack Masters Atlanta magic of this man, as he made it to the upper bracket final, and that's obviously why he deserved an invite, and for all the other great things he does in this community. Our Canadian Terran player, down 1-2, hits Cell. That pylon is awfully close to where you don't want your pylon to be. So, it is either going to kiss the Nexus, Or it's blocking the Nexus. I would not want to take this risk. Please don't tell me that he... Did he? No, right. Guys? Is it fine? You guys think it's fine? I guess it's barely fine. Feels very close. It is very, very, very close. I would not want to play that game with a bunch of people watching. I always just build my pile in a random spot, and I was like, yeah, I'm okay if it is like a little bit further away than what it's supposed to be. No issues with that at all. What is our pal Cell up to, guys? Marine into reactor into factory, high ground CC. Could be something somewhat aggressive. With the way that Flexy has played, by the way, where he very often goes adept into sentry, I feel like you can just build low ground CCs. This is also a map that has a ramp leading into the natural. Don't think we need to show that much respect to potential Protoss aggression, but what do I know? Is there any patch coming? They are working on something, yes. No, I have no ETA on when that patch comes out. I'm technically not even supposed to know, but I just kind of know. But yes, they are working on stuff. Might actually address a couple of the changes that went through a while ago, right? Where they can be happy with X, but unhappy with how Y played out, and fine-tune things a little bit. But what is very important to keep in mind is that obviously we are getting closer and closer to IEM Katowice. So if they wanna send a big patch soon, they kind of gotta do it like in the first week of January. So at least all the players that qualified for Katowice have over a month to get used to it and get ready for it. You don't want to release a patch 1 or 2 weeks before Katowice, because A, that would just be terrible, and then B, even if you want to play the old version, it becomes a bit of a mess, right, with ladder and custom games. So yeah, even doing it now is a little bit annoying when you keep your eyes on the WTL Code S playoffs. Now that may not be so super important to everyone, but I find it kind of important. All year long, the best players and the best teams have been battling, and we are awfully close to those WTL Code S playoffs. So I feel like releasing a patch 8 days before those playoffs, I don't think that's quite right. They can obviously do it just after Katowice too, yeah, that's fine. And that might actually be the plan. Maybe this is the patch that we will see in Poland, and then after Katowice. That would honestly get my vote. It's not that I love everything about this current patch, but I think this current patch is fine. It's very playable. And I would kind of like to at least just keep things the same way for another 6 weeks, and from there on out, we can experiment and do crazy things again. Anyway, let's keep an eye on Game 4. In typical Cell fashion, after 5 minutes and 5 seconds, the amount of units that Cell has killed is 0. The amount of units that Cell lost is 0. Katowice is not the official World Championship, but it is still a very important Starcraft tournament, obviously, with a huge legacy, a crazy amount of prize money. I think it's like $500,000. So players really care about it. Everyone is going to do their best. The 24 players are already set. They already had qualifiers as well. So changing things before Katowice might just not be a good idea at all. The World Championship is probably going to be Game is 8, is what Duke of Stern Nation is saying. Could be. Can also be a new place, right? A location we have never traveled to before. Macau, Vegas, Miami. All of these are possibilities for your next StarCraft 2 World Championship. Back to BlizzCon, who knows, guys? We'll go back to Atlanta because the DreamHack Masters Atlanta was so fantastic. Flexy, as obviously you guys can all see, has opted to go for the Phoenix Colossus once more. If you guys have any questions about this strategy or why Protoss players love it, feel free to ask them. I think the idea is kind of simple. It's obviously very safe and sound at home. It gives you a lot of map presence, it gives you map control. Cell thinks that he is Maru and he can justify building Ravens against Phoenixes. Turns out Cell, as good as he is not Maru. Loses the Raven at home, and he also invested in the interference matrix. Like, this is one of these things where I think you should try to take a poker approach to it all, Where if once in a while you want to go for a Raven with Matrix, even when your opponent has Phoenix, I'm okay with it. Doing it every single game, I am not okay with. I feel like you make it harder and harder on yourself to actually find that sweet little window where you can drop that Matrix, stim forward, kill the Protoss. And yeah, Flexy has been very good in building workers throughout the entire series. I would almost say that that is like his biggest strength as a player. Macro in StarCraft 2 is not rocket science, but a lot of people obviously struggle with keeping up the macro while doing other stuff. Whether that is building pylons, gateways, or moving some adepts around, flying around with your Phoenix, looking for openings. Like all of these things are things where your probe production could slip up. It seems that Flexy is very good at just building probes non-stop. And UpATree definitely seems to struggle a bit more. He hits a lot of little supply blocks. We have one more here as well. Does have 4 depots finishing up, so he's going to take care of it. But it's just all these seconds where he is not building workers. His opponent always is. And then in an 8-minute, 20-second game where very little has happened. And I know as a Terran it can be frustrating to play against Phoenix Colossus, because it feels that your hands are tied. But you can switch it up, right? You can go for some of these Cyclone Viking attacks with a couple of Marines. You can go for a 3-Rex opening. Just the one thing you don't want to do is go Raven every single game and just sit at home. And then send out one HeroMarine drop 8 minutes and 40 seconds into the game. That gets revealed by the pylon as well. It's just... yeah, you can go triple CC ones right at the get-go. There are a lot of things that you can do that are pretty good against Phoenix Colossus. Unfortunately, I feel like UpATree has not really made the right choices. And we had an awesome game in this series between these two on Oceanborn. I absolutely loved that game. Thank you, yo. I saw that, mate. It's all good. We still have some time. Yeah. Feel like Serral, with all his connections and all his friendships, should have a hotline to a lot of the great Terrans out there where I can just be like, hey, if I know somebody goes Phoenix Colossus like every game, what should I do? And they'll hit him up with a couple of different build orders. I think Kalazur is someone who has a lot of great Cyclone, Viking, Marine, Medevac pushes where at the bare minimum you keep the Protoss on 2 bases for a while, but in a lot of scenarios you'll just kill them. UpATree kind of is digging his own grave with these relatively late triple CCs, supply blocks, and units that just don't really do a lot for you. I think 3-Rex is very good against it too. Because, sure, you may not kill the Protoss on 2 bases, but what you will be able to do is keep them on 2 bases for a while. And then you are the one who can go up to quicker to 3 bases. And then obviously once you get medevacs, you can also start dropping a little. If they make one mistake with the Phoenix and they fly over here on your Marines, the Protoss is in trouble. So I think a mix between triple CC, 3-Rex, and some Cyclone Viking aggression early on, all of that is fine. All of that is good. The one thing you don't want to do is stay on 2 bases till minute 6, minute 7, and just have 0 map presence, 0 aggression. Just kind of let it happen. Aquila says Serral is going to win this game. It doesn't look like it at the moment, but I hope you're right, mate. I wouldn't hate it. I'd love to see a game 5 between these two. When did Roddy get a second channel? A couple of weeks ago, but I haven't been able to use it a whole lot yet. Because I still haven't set up the OBS thing properly, where I can easily switch between the two. But especially in the new year, we'll go live on it every now and then. I've just been very busy on this channel. You can take a look at my previous broadcasts, and we are live pretty much every single day. And then obviously we went to Home Story Cup, we went to Atlanta as well. So it's been a very busy month of December. A fun one though, but... Triple Colossus, 6 Disruptors, by the way. Where are they? I didn't see 6 Disruptors. There are a couple here in the main army. So his Vikings are in a very good spot. The Novas fly forward. UpATree is kind of avoiding them, though. Avoids another one. Kills one of the Disruptors. Should be able to kill the second one here. Great micro, guys, here on the side of UpATree against all these Disruptors. You got to give it to him. Very, very good splits. The Vikings also able to get all the hits off. Every single Colossus died. That was a beautiful engagement by RPL, Serral, UpATree. But he... oh, careful. Hello? Firing a Nova into his own Zealots. That was beautiful, guys. But the sad thing is, obviously, as a Terran, is that one Nova that explodes in the heart of your army now. And all of that was for nothing. Attacking into cannons and shield batteries, especially with overcharge available. And you guys know what Coco told us, that overcharge is always around the corner. So maybe multiple overcharges are available. That was very good, but Cell needs more. Would have been nice to maybe stim towards this base, take out the pylons right after he killed all the Colossus and a couple of the Disruptors. It was a beautiful fight by UpATree. Probably the best fight he has taken throughout the entire best of 5. I think it's way too early to celebrate and say that that now means that he's going to win. As this is where life becomes a lot more difficult, where you have Novas flying towards your army, you have DTs getting on top of all your SCVs, and the Terran army is a little bit overstimmed, so Cell was not able to capitalize on some of these great fights earlier. And he's now taking a crazy amount of damage. And that's why I said it's way too early to celebrate. The GFG gets called, and the Big Brain Bouts debut for Flexy is a success. After 44 editions of this tournament, I decided to invite this lovely nerd from Poland once, and he gets a 3-1 victory over the other man who had a great run in the Passion Craft tournament recently as well. I believe that means that historically Cell now drops to 1-3, either 1-2 or 1-3. Flexy wins his first night ever. He walks away with $80. Cell will still get $20. And that is it for the PVTs tonight, guys. I know a lot of you guys are waiting for some Zergs. We are going to get some Zergs. Next up is Mixu versus Dolan. Obviously, big shout out to these two for playing some video games in front of us tonight. I hope they had fun. I like the series overall. The highlight obviously was Oceanborn. That was a very fun game. The rest of the series, bit of a drag sometimes, but still kind of fun. So we'll take a little break. I'll settle the prediction. From here on out, the level is going to be a lot higher. From here on out, the level. Dolan versus Mixu, guys, is up next. Those guys are close to 6,000 MMR. I think we can call them 6K MMR players. So, yeah, why not? 64% of you guys believed in Flexy. And it is Flexy. Who wins? Start a prediction. BBB co-main event. $125 show match. Mixu versus Dolan. Finland versus USA. We'll do some server swapping, obviously, as well. Mixu 6K finish. Z, I believe, qualified for a Wadi tournament today, so congrats to him. Dolan is a 6K American Terran player, maybe a bit below or a bit above, but I think we can just go with 6K. I'll give you guys 15 minutes to get all of your predictions in. As you guys can see, there's an incoming ad break, so we're just going to beat Twitch to it and spam those ads now. I hope you guys enjoy them very much. I suddenly heard weird sounds. I'm like, what is happening? But I guess it's just raining. So we're going to take a little break. After that, I'll be back with a TVZ. I don't know about the server order yet. I'll leave it up to the guys. But we'll definitely do 2 Europe, 2 NA, and then we'll coin toss for Game 5. And this is under the assumption that Dolan is on the East Coast, but I believe he is. So a couple of minutes, and then I'll be back. TVZ coming up next. Thank you guys all for being here. I am misclicking a lot. This is the glue one, guys. Getting the best of me. Wicked Kane giving us 5 subbies. Let's go, mate.